am back, baby. This is Dion, your 49er reporter, reporting on this game that we are about to have this Saturday. Us versus the Minnesota Vikings. Now, before I get into this stuff, please definitely hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You know what I'm saying? Definitely turn on that notification bell so I can keep you up to date on anything and everything San Francisco 49ers. Now, if y'all noticed really quick, I did videos on all the other playoff games. But I didn't touch the Sea Chickens game versus the Eagles. It was pretty much not worth talking about. Fuck the Seahawks. And the Eagles suck something so awful. We all knew they was going to lose. And they lost by the same score. This is 17-9 again. And what happened? Unfortunate, but very common. Carson Wentz goes down. So you bring in old ass Josh McCown out there trying to look like Lamar fucking Jackson every now and then. That game was doomed for the start, man. But hey, look, let's get into our game because that's really what matters. This video is going to be a little lengthy. I'm going to tell you that up front because we got a whole lot to get into. So we're just going to go ahead and go over the particulars and the numbers and things of that nature. So for the Vikings, for the season, total offense 16th, 23rd in passing offense, 6th in rushing offense. For the defense, 14th overall defense, 15th passing defense, and 13th rushing defense. So for us, San Francisco 49ers, total offense, we were number 4 with 381 yards per game. Passing offense, we were 13th, which was definitely better than what we were before the season, earlier in the season because we weren't very high up there. Rushing offense, we were second in the league with 144 yards per game. And then for us, number 2 defense in the league, number 1 passing defense, but unfortunately the number 17th rushing defense. So you can tell pretty much by just the overall stats that we're an all-around better team than Minnesota. They just have us by 4 spots in the rushing defense. So then we got to get into the quarterbacks. Kirk Cousins, 69.1 completion percentage, 3,603 yards, 26 TDs, 6 interceptions, and he did take 28 sacks. Jimmy G, 3,978 yards, 69.1 completion percentage, which is identical to Cousins, 27 TDs, 13 interceptions, and 36 sacks. And I can tell y'all right now, right off the bat, that there were some of those sacks that Jimmy G brought upon himself. And the reason I say that is because there were plenty of times that he held the ball a little too long. There were times when the lineman got overwhelmed, but he did have a lot of times where he held the ball too long and just didn't make a decision to get it out or do something with it or run. It took him too long. So those probably would have been lessened had he made quicker decisions. And then as far as rushing goes, for them, Dalvin Cook, 1,135 yards, 4.5 yards per carry, 13 TDs. Now, he fumbled the ball 3 times during the season and lost 2 of them. And as far as their other backs, they don't exist. Dalvin Cook is a bell cow back. You don't have a 3-headed monster. You don't have a 2-headed monster. You don't have nothing. It's Cook or it's nothing. For us, we have a 3-headed monster, and that automatically belongs to Raheem Mostert, 772 yards, averaging 5.6 yards per carry, 8 TDs, and he had 2 receiving TDs as well to bring him to a total of 10. Matt Breida, 623 yards, 5.1 yards per carry, 1 TD. Tevin Coleman, 544 yards, 4.0 yards per carry, 6 TDs, and 1 receiving TD. And Jeff Wilson Jr. barely broke 300 yards, but he still had 4 TDs and 1 receiving TD. So we jump over to the receivers. For them, for the whole year, leading receiver was Stephon Diggs, 1,130 yards, 17.9 yards per catch, 6 TDs, 4 fumbles, and 3 lost. So that's a good thing for us because we like to punch the ball out. So that means that we can try to get to those and do what we need to do. Adam Thielen, 418 yards, 13.9 yards per catch, 6 TDs. He was injured a lot during the season. And Kyle Rudolph, 367 yards, 9.4 yards per catch, 6 TDs. He was there throughout the season, but if you notice that all of these receivers have, 6 touchdowns, very odd, very, very weird. Not a good, like that, 3 of those in a row. But we jump over to us. Leading receiver again, Mr. Kittle. George Kittle, 1,053 yards, 12.4 yards per catch, 5 TDs, and 626 yards after the catch. Yak, yak, yak. That man is the yak king. He was the yak king last year, not this year. Christian McCaffrey actually was, but I mean CMC was the best dude from scrimmage, whether it be rushing or receiving. He did it all. Deebo Samuel, 802 yards, 14.1 yards per catch, 3 TDs, 477 yards after the catch. And that's because Deebo turns into a running back once he gets the ball. E-Man, 509 yards, 13.9 yards per catch, 3 TDs, and that's since he's been with us with the 49ers. KB, Kendrick Bourne, 358 yards, 11.9 yards per catch, 5 TDs. And KB is money in that red zone, I'm telling you. It is what it is. KB in the red zone, it's a sure thing. All receivers that caught at least one TD pass. So I'm talking about Dante Pettis. I'm talking about Marquise Goodwin. You got Deebo, you got E-Man, you got KB. I mean, we've got a host of different receivers that have all caught at least a touchdown pass. Jimmy spreads the ball around, and Kyle's offense is built for that, to share the ball. That's obvious. So then we jump over to the defense here. So their leading tackler for Minnesota is Kendricks, man. That dude got 110 tackles, 12 passes defense, 2 forced fumbles, and 2 fumble recoveries. So, I mean, when he get the ball out, he goes and gets it. And then their leading dude on the line, Daniil Hunter, 14.5 sacks, 18 tackles for loss, 3 forced fumbles. Everson Griffin, 8 sacks, 11 tackles for a loss, 2 passes defense, 1 interception. So then you got Harrison Smith, their safety, 85 tackles, 11 passes defense. Anthony Barr, 4 passes defense, 79 tackles. Harrison Smith is their leading, is the second guy on the team for interceptions. He has 3. Anthony Harris has 6 interceptions. So then we jump on over to our defense. Eric Armstead, 10 sacks, 13.5 tackles for a loss. Bosa, 9 sacks, 16.5 tackles for a loss. Buckner, 7.5 sacks. Thomas, 2 sacks. Warner, 3 sacks. 118 tackles and 8.5 tackles for a loss. Greenlaw, 92 tackles, 1 sack. D Ford, 6.5 sacks, 7.5 tackles for a loss, and he only played 11 games. So what we have to jump into here is how our offense fares against their offense. So just off statistics alone, you can tell that our offense was better. They had the 16th ranked total offense. We had the 4th ranked total offense. You know what I mean? The only thing they did better than us was in, rushing defense. That was it. Everything else were better than them. So for this game, what we need to focus on as far as our offense is starting Raheem Mostert like we should. We need to stop with starting Tevin Coleman. I have no idea why he keeps trying to put Tevin Coleman to run in between the tackles. Tevin Coleman does better when you put him in pass situations and you get him on stretch plays. It's just what he does. So we have to continue with the 3-headed monster that we have, which is Raheem Mostert, Matt Breida, and Tevin Coleman. And the reason being is because when you mix up those backs all the time, they don't know what's going to hit them. I say you give Mostert the bulk of the carries because he has earned that with his play over the past couple of games. He's been an aberration. He's been just flat out great. And I have to say I love it, man. This is just a situation where you want to make sure that you feed the guy that needs to be fed. You don't want to wind up putting a bad taste in his mouth by taking carries away from him. I understand our team is built where we don't get upset when one person has more than we have. But at the same time, Raheem is just ready to go every play. And he gets in between the tackles and he goes, man. He runs, he'll hit you. He can dodge you. I mean, when he sticks his foot in the ground and goes, it's nasty, man. If you haven't seen him play for 49er fans, you're missing out because Raheem is crazy. Jimmy G, we just have to have him make good decisions and make decisions. Jimmy cannot slow down and hold the ball for 30 minutes trying to figure out what's going on. That Minnesota pass rush is nothing to laugh at. It's nothing to sneeze at, nothing to joke about. They are that good. So for us, it's getting Raheem the Dream running and letting him, be unleashed and do whatever he needs to do. And then when it comes down to, somebody you just want to blow past the defense, go ahead and throw in Matt Breida. He's still got the speed, 22.3 miles an hour, and nobody in the NFL faster than that. And I'll continue to say that because nobody's proven me wrong. And next up, you just got Tevin Coleman. Like I said, great change of pace back, dude out the backfield. You throw him the ball, boom, he's gone. It's a wrap. You know what I mean? So we jump over to the receiving side of the ball for us. Mr. Kittle. Feed Mr. Kittle. Feed him. Feed him. Feed him. Feed Kittle all day long. I mean, shove him down their throat. And then once they start thinking everything's going to Kittle, that's when you switch it up and you start to go ahead and you hit KB, you hit Debo, you hit E-Man. You know what I mean? You just start feeding all the other pieces of the puzzle because you can't take away one and think that that's it. You don't have that option anymore. Kittle isn't the only option. Now you have too many different people you have to focus on. You have to focus on E-Man. You got to focus on Debo. You got to focus on KB. You got to focus on Kittle as well. Then you got to focus on the backs. And it's like, shit, what do we do? There's too many different things to focus on. So for us, it's just feeding all of those guys and making sure that Kittle gets started early. What I've noticed is we become a team in the second half where the first half sometimes isn't always so great, but the second half we come out and we just destroy teams. We figure out what they've got us on in the first half in the second half. So we need to be able to do that the whole game through. This can't be one of those situations where Dalvin Cook is running all over us and then in the second half we figure out how to slow him down. We need to be able to slow him down all game long. But as far as our defense is concerned, I mean, you heard the numbers I just gave you. Armstead, and we have, the beauty is we have all of our starters back. And I say this with the utmost, intelligence to know that everybody is going to play. D4, Eric Armstead, DeForest Buckner, Nick Bosa. That is our starting line. Our linebackers, Dre Greenlaw, Quan Alexander, Fred Warner. They are all going to play. Our safeties, Tart, Ward, they're back there. Our only starting corner, Richard Sherman. The other side of the ball is being debated right now because Akello has been subpar. And I watched Robert Saleh's interviews, man, and he always never tries to shoot on any of the dudes, and he don't want to ever put Spoon down. None of the coaches ever want to put him down when they doing interviews. Let me tell you something, man. Spoon been fucking up, okay? I don't care. They always try to make it say, well, what if he was doing something for this person or that person or making a play for this guy or making a play for that guy? Was he? Really? Are you sure? Because I don't think he was. I think that there are certain plays where Spoon just gets killed. He gets killed on crossing routes, and when he goes in, when they're too close to that end zone, he's so focused on the damn receiver, he don't know where the ball is at. Turn your head around and get to the ball. This is why E-Man wins when he goes in. He's not the greatest DB, and I'm not saying that Spoon is garbage. I would never say that. Spoon is not garbage. But he just has those moments where he gets in his head and it screws him up. He doesn't know how to forget a play. Like, he doesn't know how to move on. It sticks in his craw, and it messes with his psyche. His mental isn't tough enough for certain situations. And we don't have time for guys to be in there thinking, damn, can I make this next play? Or am I going to make this next play? Or am I good enough? I don't know. Should I? Will I? Won't I? Can I? No, we don't have time for that shit. You need to be out there making plays, doing what you need to do every single play. And yes, he gets targeted more often than anybody else, but they pick on him because they know they can. They pick on him because they know if he starts giving up big plays, he's just going to pout about it. He's not going to be able to mentally recover from it, and they're going to continually antagonize him and attack him. They're not going to throw at Sherm because Sherm is one of those dudes, if I give up a TD, fuck it, I gave up a TD, I'm going to the next play and I'm going to get an interception. Or I'm going to knock the ball down. Or I'm going to tackle somebody. Or I'm going to, make an impact play. Spoon don't have that in himself. And he had it early in the season, so I don't know what happened to him now. I would love for him to find that because we need that throughout the playoffs. But as far as for this game, I would say start E-Man. You can work Spoon in and have him go left and right. Maybe put Spoon in if you see a bigger receiver come in. But keep E-Man in there if you got the little smaller, quick twitch guys. You've got Stephon Diggs and you got Adam Thielen. So these guys aren't super speedy receivers, like not by any stretch of the imagination they're going to blow by anyone, but at the same time, mix and match, but I say start E-Man. Let Spoon know. You want this job, you better earn this shit, because you ain't going to play in the slot, because that's K1's job, so we got K1, we got Spoon and E-Man, and we got Sherman, and we got Tart, and we got Ward, and Tart is back, man. You know what I'm saying? They'll probably have him and Quan practicing minimally, and just keeping them fresh for the game because they want to be ready for it. But I'm telling you right now, those guys will do it. And as far as everybody else on the defense, I think they all will do their job. Everybody's just got to be on their P's and Q's. And at the same time, because the line is back, we should be able to rush like we did before. The reason we were so dominant in those first 8 games was because we were terrorizing the quarterback. The last 8 games of the season, we were not. We just didn't have the same push. We were doing what we could. We were getting by, but guys were injured, man, and the injuries continued to mount. You lost DJ Jones. You lost Ronald Blair III. You know what I'm saying? You lose guys on the defense. You lose Tart. We lost to Kello for a few weeks. We lost Quan in week 8, man. So it's definitely hard when you lose those pieces on the defense, but you got to truck on. Now that everybody is back and everybody is healthy enough to be playing, we should be able to generate the same pass rush that we did in the beginning of the season to allow ourselves to be able to terrorize Kirk Cousins, make his life a living hell. And at the same time, we did sign Earl Mitchell. He's a good run stuffer, so we'll put him in when we think that Dalvin Cook's going to try to go up in the middle. Earl Mitchell is a big boy. He's over 300 pounds because most of our line is at least like 275 to like 280 or 290, but they're not 300-pound guys. They're all big athletic dudes. You know what I mean? It was like years ago when the Jets had DeBrickashaw Ferguson. When you looked at him, this guy can't be a left tackle. He's not even big enough, but he was. DeBrickashaw Ferguson was just in shape. I mean, look at Eric Donald. Aaron Donald's a big motherfucker, but he's in shape. He doesn't have a gut. He's not running around huffing and puffing. He's just a big dude in shape. It is what it is. So for us, on our defensive side of the ball, we must rush this passer. I want to see Kirk Cousins laying on his back, looking up at the sky going, why the hell am I in California taking this ass whooping? I could have been at home in Minnesota just earning my money and not dealing with this. Me and my little guaranteed contract, I'd have been fine. But at the same time, if we have a great pass rush, that means that our DBs can make moves. They can go ahead and say, you know what, I can drive on the ball now because I already know he doesn't have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 seconds to be out there and, throw the ball or do anything crazy. He only has 1 or 2 because up that gut, we're coming at you. On them edges, we coming at you. And don't try to do that rollout bootleg shit that you saw Lamar Jackson do and you saw Jared Goff do. I'm going to tell you right now, Dre Greenlaw and Quan Alexander will be right there ready to get in that ass if you think you finna go out there and try to make those runs. Quan has so much energy that I think the adrenaline will overpower any kind of pain that he has. They just have to keep him good on the sidelines when our offense is on the field. And at the same time, offensively, we got to run the ball to keep them off the field. You know what I'm saying? Take control of that clock. If that clock keeps ticking and they can't get on the field, they can't score. And at the same time, it gives the defense more rest. This extra week was great for all of our guys because that allowed all of them to rest. Everybody to let their body heal up. So this is the time where we go hard. We beat our bodies to a pulp so we can continue to keep going and get our ass to that Super Bowl, get to that 6th Super Bowl, and not play no games. So I just have a special message for one dude on the defensive side of the ball. And that's D Ford, man. Because initially, this is a what have you done for me lately, Lee. And I need you to go on that field and give every fucking thing you got. Because at the end of the day, I ask myself this question about you every time, D. What have you done for me lately? Ooh, yeah. One more time. What have you done for me lately? The reason that I don't own the rights to that song, that's Janet Jackson. The reason that I put that on there, man, is just for y'all to bop it a little bit. I don't know, some of y'all might be a little young. Y'all don't know about Janet. But the reason that I put that there is because this is a what have you done for me lately league, as I just previously stated. And D, you ain't done nothing for me lately. You had 6.5 sacks in the early parts of the season. You came back for the Saints game, played 4 funky-ass snaps, and you went back out. Your career has been riddled with injuries. I understand injuries are a part of the game. I get it. I really do. But this is not the fucking time for you to come in here and lay a goose egg and play 2 snaps and go, oh, my damn ham's teared. I want you to rip that hamstring out of your fucking body if you have to. Give everything you have. Be on the field. Please produce. We need you. When you're there, your get off is so fucking nasty that it doesn't give Kirk Cousins time to think. We know how good you are. Get on the field and be that good. Be the person that we went ahead and gave $84 million to and we gave up a 2nd round pick for, and make sure that we don't look like fools for doing those 2 things. That's all I'm asking, D. Get out there and play. I don't need to ask that from Quan. Because I know when Quan goes out there, he's going to give 150% every fucking game. I know when Tart gets out there, he's going to do the same exact thing. You are the only person that I question because you constantly are injured. We need you to stay as healthy as possible. I don't know what you need to do. I don't care whether you need to go do fucking yoga, you need to go visit a shaman, go to a mosque, visit the imam, go to a church, visit the pastor, you know what I'm saying? Go to a Catholic church, confess to the priest. Whatever you need to do, D4, to get yourself right, do it. But make it so you are on the field every play, making plays. I understand we got to rotate you in and out to keep you healthy and to keep everybody else, fresh across the line. We will do that. But at the same time, when you're on there and you're in that game, you better be making a fucking impact because you spent too much time on the sidelines and on the bench, and we're paying you too much money as a franchise for you not to produce. So that's my message to you. And I really don't care if people don't like what I said. This is my channel. I'm going to say what the hell I want. And at the end of the day, that's what's up. So, jumping over to, something that I heard today, Adam Thielen, ankle injury. Stephon Diggs hasn't practiced. So those are two things that we have to be mindful of. We got to watch that throughout the week. Because if you don't have no Stephon Diggs and you don't have no Adam Thielen, who the fuck do you have? Laquan Treadwell? The bust that you drafted in the first round that has done nothing? Who lost his job to Stephon Diggs just like Dante Pettis lost his job to Deebo Samuel? I'm just saying, people. Those are two big injuries. And you can't rely on Kyle Rudolph to do everything the whole game. We'll just shut him down. Eventually. That's what I'm saying. We had a better run when we had Quan Alexander playing than we did with anyone else when we were playing against tight ends. So, for this game that just passed, Kirk Cousins against the Saints, he was 19 to 31 yards, 19 to 31 passing, 242 yards. He took 2 sacks, and he had 1 TD, which is the game winner to Kyle Rudolph, where there's a controversial no call on the offensive PI. Personally, when I looked at the play, I didn't think it was offensive PI. I thought they was both jockeying for the ball. Rudolph made the play. It is what it is. Personally, you should have got your damn head around and tried to make a play on the ball instead of trying to guard that big motherfucker. You know you're shorter than him. You know he probably gave up some weight. So just be smart. Look for the ball. You right there in the end zone. Like, what else can you do? Dalvin Cook, 28 carries, 94 yards, 3.4 yards per carry, but he had 2 TDs. So he was the man in that game. And then for receiving, they just relied on Adam Thielen. 7 catches, 129 yards, 18.4 yards per catch. You know what I'm saying? He injured his ankle today, so we don't know. He'll most likely play. I guarantee you that. He won't miss the game. But if his ankle is injured, it may slow him down. That's a good thing. Dalvin Cook, 3 catches, 36 yards, 12.0 yards per catch. This guy right here, Stephon Diggs, 2 catches, 19 yards. And those 2 catches were all he had the game. He had 9.5 yards a catch. And the sad part is he got pissed. He threw his helmet. He was like, fuck this shit, man. Why y'all doing me like this, man? We in a playoff game. Like, y'all need to be getting me the fucking ball so I can make plays. This shit ain't right. And everybody was like, Kirk comes over to him. Hey, man, I got you. But you still get 2 catches for 19 yards? I'm just saying, that ain't shit. And Rudolph, 4 catches, 31 yards, 7.8 yards per catch. He only had 1 TD, and that was in the that was in overtime to win the game. And that's just basically how it is. So in this game, Harrison Smith, 11 tackles. Daniil Hunter and Everson Griffin combined for 3 sacks. But those are the guys, that's what I'm saying. So for us, the defensive line of Minnesota is what we have to be worried about. Because they can push the pocket. They get things done up front. I gave y'all the stats earlier, but Daniil Hunter and Everson Griffin are the big boys up front that will make this ball go. So I can see that happening where, they try to get that push. Now we got Mike Person back on the line, so Brunskill will still be there to be the swing tackle or even play guard if Person can't go for some reason. But the hard part for us is that we have to make sure that we are on our P's and Q's as far as our offensive line and making sure that we give Jimmy G enough time to make the right decisions and do the right things. We just don't need him throwing any bonehead interceptions, which he has not in a couple of weeks, which has been fantastic. I love it. But at the same time, we got to make sure that these guys don't get back there. Because Daniil Hunter is a premier pass rusher, man. If you don't get 14.5 sacks by just doing nothing, that's not all luck. You have to work for those. Everson Griffin, 8 sacks. So these guys are doing their jobs and doing what they need to do. And their linebacking core is actually really good at covering. So I have to give respect to Anthony Barr and Kendricks and those dudes, they're really good at covering when it comes to on plays out of the backfield and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Their DBs, you got Xavier Rhodes. Rhodes is pretty good, but he's nothing spectacular. He's nothing to be crazy about. This kid Harris is who I'm more worried about because he got 6 picks. So he could be a little bit of a ball hawk. We got to be worried about him. Harrison Smith, he's still a good dude. He can be out there. He's running. He's hitting. He's doing everything that he possibly can to make plays. So for us, it's honestly their front 7 in general is going to be who we need to be worried about because their line is really good and their linebackers are really good too. You know what I'm saying? I got to show a little love to Anthony Barr only because he's UCLA. That's my college squad because I'm from LA. I'm from California. I'm from Los Angeles. So, I still like Barr. I still my dude. It's still a UCLA guy. But either way, we're going to have to go out there and kick his ass. So at the end of the day, man, I say we win this game. Period, point blank. We win this game by slowing down Dalvin Cook. We don't have to stop him. We just got to slow him down. And if we don't let him score, we're fine. And we will be able to go ahead and get, anything that we need on the defensive side of the ball because Kirk Cousins won't have the time to be able to sit back there and go through his reads and make the proper throws. He's going to have to throw some ill-advised passes because we're going to be in the backfield quicker and faster than we have in these previous games. So I say we have at least 3 to 4 sacks on Kirk Cousins. We can intercept at least 1 to 2 passes. And as well, I say we win this game, man, 30-17. I say we put up some good points on them, man. I say we control the clock with the run. We do what we need to do. Kittle has at least a touchdown pass, and so does Debo. And the next guy up, our running backs, man, Mostert scores too. I see Raheem the Dream, man, having a big game. I see him over 100 yards. So we have the opportunity to win this game and to go on to the NFC Championship and continue to compete and do what we need to do. So I'm going to watch the Green Bay game and see what they do. But for right now, I am focused on the Minnesota Vikings and us winning. For us to win, we have to make Kirk Cousins' life a living hell, slow down Dalvin Cook, and then we're fine. Because if Kirk Cousins can't throw the ball, Thielen and Diggs can't catch it, and neither can Kyle Rudolph. Those are the main guys that we got to stop all 4 of those guys. Well, 5. Because we got to stop Cousins, we got to stop Cook, we have to stop Thielen, we have to stop Diggs, and we got to stop Rudolph. They don't have any other weapons on their offense. If those guys aren't in the game or they get injured or they go out there, there's nobody to come in and replace them. I'm not going to be afraid of Laquan Treadwell. He's a first-round bust. But 30-17 is my score if we give up 17 points. I honestly see the spread. They got the spread at 7.5 in Vegas right now. So they betting hard on us. And I see us either winning 30-17 or blowing them out. And at the end of the day, man, I don't want anybody to feel bad. I want us to all be happy. We've had a wonderful season. We need to continue our season, you know what I'm saying? And we need to go ahead and continue to have fun and be happy and be ready. And I'm going to tell you right now, man, Levi's is going to be crazy. It's going to be rocking, as Jimmy G says, because we sold that motherfucker out. We sold it out. There are no seats. Like, we are really about to do it right now. And at the end of the day, there's only 2 songs I want to hear, and this is one of them right here. You know what I mean? We just ready. We trying to get everything going in the right direction to do what we need to do and have fun, man. We in the Bay. We in the Yay area. So at the end of the day, I just want to hear,
if the squad ain't with me,
then it ain't right.
Yeah.
Woo, 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 woo.
Yeah.
And we gonna be in the Bay bouncing, going, yay! Hey, we go, same squad, same squad, same squad. 49er gang, nigga, you can't try. That's what we doing tonight. Squad A with it ain't right. Hey, that's it. So when you hear that same squad by Pilo, he's an honorary 49er because he come through and he visits the squad. And he is a avid 49er fan. And there's one dude, you know what I'm saying, who he seems to be a little great. He's a pretty big rapper, you know what I'm saying? And most teams don't have that. As far as their team goes, they don't have a team song by one of the biggest rappers to come out the motherfucking Bay. A dude that taught you the lingo that you didn't know before you knew it. You know what I'm saying? He's from the Yay area, man. He's from Vallejo. California. And there's a guy right here. What? Bang Bang Niner Gang. Listen to the beat. Just nasty. At the end of the day. Bang Bang Niner Gang. Bang Bang Niner Gang. Bang Bang Niner Gang. Bang Bang Niner Gang. Niner Gang. Bang Bang Niner Gang. That's 40 Water right there. One of the biggest rappers ever to do it, giving us our own theme song for the squad. Now, any of the music that I played in this video, I do not own the rights to. That was Janet Jackson, that was P-Lo, and that was E40. But what I'm saying is, we need to hear those songs at the end of the game because we need to be victorious, and we shall win. Y'all have yourselves a blessed day. Have a wonderful evening. Be ready on Saturday. And if y'all are going to watch the game and y'all are in Arizona, go to the Varsity Tavern on Mill Ave. We are in there deep. And when I say deep, I mean deep, homie. We in there deep. The Niner Gang is in there. AZ Niner Empire is one of the best things that ever happened to me because they're really good people. It's really good to go in there, man. I get to go in there and hang out with my Niner fam. You should see the place where we scored a touchdown. Man, it's live. It's lit in that motherfucker. Y'all have yourselves a wonderful day, man. Go to the Varsity Tavern. Join us because we're going to be out there singing Bang Bang Niner Gang.